1 year after living with my DIY jute rug project, there's some things that I wish I would have done differently. Oh, sorry, where are my manners? I'm Brittany Edwards and this channel is a box of chocolates. It's also changed a lot in the past month and a half. So after you finish watching this video, feel free to peruse the off. Back to the rug. Right, back to the rug. So I just wanted to give you an update on what it's been like for 1 year living with my DIY jute rug rounded rectangle rope rug. Yes, I am sitting on 𝐀𝐔𝐓𝐿. Anyways, if you didn't watch the other video, don't worry, I'll give you a quick rundown. Couldn't find anything online, decided to DIY it. That was a slight nightmare. I mean, the project is really simple, right? You just take rope and wrap it around, but it was a painstaking 4-month process. And honestly, I think that my attention span is a lot shorter than I'd like to admit. So for me, that attention span deficit, and I have a lot of other extracurricular activities that I'd much rather spend my time doing, just amounted to a project that I did not recommend, do not recommend. Well, you can decide whether or not you want to make one. Anyways, we digress. There were a couple of people that were mad that I put packing paper in the middle, but we're still living, we're still live, it's still working. So packing paper has been doing great. I have spilled some things on it, but nothing too extravagant. There are no stains, everything is, you know, it's still living its best life. And also this rug is in the middle of my living center, you know, it's not off in the side for some cute little accent piece, like it's right in the middle of my life. So that being said, it's had a year of active use and it's still holding up pretty well, except for one minor thing. Some of the pieces of rope have dislodged themselves, and I don't know how much of that is due to reckless roughhousing and how much of it is because they're just on the edge, or how much of it is due to the fact that when I did the outer parts, I was using a different glue, and that was before I found the weld bond. I've left some of my edges a little unraveled and unruly, but it's also something that I've really just come to accept at this point. Like, you know, not everything in life is gonna be perfect, and that's okay. Like, you'll be fine. Here are some things that I wish I had done differently. First and foremost, the rug sheds. And it feels like my place gets dirtier quicker because of all the fibers that come off of the rug. Because of that, I wish I had sealed it with Mod Podge or, I don't know, some other kind of sealer. I wonder if sealing it would have prevented the fibers from dislocating themselves. Similarly to the, I wish I had encased it with some type of encaser. It feels like it gathers fibers easily. If you have any fluff coming off of your clothes or dust that happens because dust bunnies, I don't know, it feels like it traps those fibers really easily. It doesn't ever feel 100% fully clean. Another thing I've been asked about is whether or not it feels soft. There's no wildlife here besides the occasional ladybug, so I'm not sure how it is for pets or how it feels on your pets, but for me as a human, it actually does feel really soft and comfortable. Like somebody's outdoor-ish patio that hasn't been renovated from the 70s and has carpet out there. That's what it feels like a really low carpet. But again, because of the first point that I mentioned, I don't like sitting on the rug. It's not itchy or anything, but those hairs come up on your clothes and then it makes things, you need a lint roller and all of these things. Here are some of the other reasons why I just didn't recommend this project. One, the time it took to complete, which was about 4 months of sitting on the floor wrapping this glue around. And it took me that long because I could only sustain doing it for 30-minute, hour intervals. I think if I had crocheted it, it would have maybe been a little bit more exciting, but it also would have been more expensive and it also would have taken a lot longer to do. So I wish that I had crocheted the outer 2 pieces, the first layer and the second layer, crocheted those 2 together, and then for the subsequent ones, glue them together, because that way you won't have the issue of the edge pieces separating, and that issue of 1, the added cost for the entire project, and 2, the project taking so much longer. So anyways, talking about the cost of the whole project leads me to another reason why it just wasn't recommended. I like to live a very financially minimalist lifestyle. The fact that making this rug cost me almost $50 for something so regular, and for the amount of effort and cost that this project took, I feel like it's not worth it. For me, if I'm doing a DIY project, like, it has to be an absolute steal. And this didn't feel like an absolute steal for me. I guess compared to the price of actual rugs, maybe, but definitely was not as cheap as I hoped it would be. Granted, a lot of the stress with the project was my fault because 1, my attention deficit, and 2, geometry and math are not my ministry, so I didn't calculate the math for the project. I'm just trying to have a good time with my DIYs. I'm not trying to get a math degree while doing it. That's why we ended up getting the packing paper in the middle, is because I just continuously was running out of rope and I was absolutely tired of making the trek. And at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what, we're going to cancel this right here. All of that to say that over the past year, the rug has held up great. I will not recommend it per se now, but again, live your best life. If this is something that you want to do, go ahead. You know what's best for you. Yeah, good luck with your project if you choose to take it up, and if you don't, hope you will click subscribe to join the tribe, and I'll see you next time.